Ato Abel will talk about persecution of Ethiopian Orthodox Christians.
On behalf of our people, the voiceless, Ethiopians have been killed for many reasons, particularly for who they are, and one form or another is religious genocide, identity genocide that is being done. I want to thank the American Civil Association for bringing us here together, and also the different organizations that have participated in this. I want to give special thanks to Mr. Mesmer. I really want to give you a round of applause. He has been doing a great job in this situation. I think the speaker, the distinguished gentleman from the State Department, former official, asked about why are you here in the question he asked us. We are here because we are being killed. We are being killed as Ethiopians, as Amharas. We are being killed as Orthodox Christians. That's the only reason that can, but we're not going to keep complaining about it. We just have to ask ourselves, what should we do? And that's, I think, should be what should come out of this session. I want to put 4 objectives why we come into this meeting. The first is to raise global awareness about what's going on in Ethiopia. I have been attending the International Religious Forum round table that goes every week and every month, and the least reported violence is what's going on in Ethiopia. You don't hear much of it. Why? Because it's not as much reported, and it is one of the most ignored business. We hear a lot of reports coming from different countries. The least report being given is about Ethiopia. So one of the main agenda today when we are here is to raise awareness about the religious genocide that's going for the Ethiopian Orthodox Christians, especially in the Arasi and Wallagga region, the Oromia region, all in all. And that has been reported by BBC on October 20. And most importantly, recently we read a report from the Zogel Post has put together research on what's going on in Ethiopia regarding these killings. And there are conclusive evidence that these killings are religious-based religions, and the Ethiopian Orthodox Christians have been targeted. What happened recently, especially on December 14, the killing of Father Duga Ufa in the Wallagga region is the epitome of it. He is what you call the CEO of the region. He has been killed, and his body is not even retrieved. And with him, a lot of Christians have been killed. Churches have been burned. People have been burned alive while they are in their worship places. And the systematic attack against the Ethiopian Orthodox Church should be a global agenda, because what this church represents is what has been going in the history of Christianity for the last 2,000 years. So the main reason that we are here today is to raise awareness about what's going on in Ethiopia. That being the case, the second reason that we should identify why we are here is to place authorities, governments, different organizations who can influence the government to make change in what's going on, to have, to take the kind of necessary protection. The main reason that the government in any country is to keep the peace of the country, for people to live together. That is totally absent in the Ethiopian case. The genocide in the Amhara region, the genocide for the Ethiopian Orthodox Church is purely because no one is advocating for it. The government doesn't recognize it. If anything, even church places have been they have been bombed with drones, and the leaders have been killed, and there is no any reason, really good reason, to do the kind of persecution that the Ethiopian Orthodox Church is suffering. That's very important. So the US government, the Europeans, the Canadians, every religious institution in the world has to know what's going on in the Ethiopian situation currently. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church is under fire, and this without no one to protect this church. And because of that, we are also, while we are here, we're also calling and demanding the Ethiopian government to take the necessary actions. It is responsible, and for its complicity, it is going to be called to be the responsible party for not doing or taking the necessary actions. That is what's required. And with it, we also demand the leadership of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church to act, to galvanize the Ethiopian people, to protect these innocent people who are being killed with no protection around them. And of course, it will be all our responsibility for all of us to speak on behalf of these voiceless people. That's why we are here. That's what I really wanted to underline in this. I'm sure from the kind of presentations that we heard, the real problems in Ethiopia have been clearly identified. It is the people of Amhara suffering for the last 7 years, supported by a constitution that clearly was presented earlier. What I think should be done is Ethiopia will have to come together and develop their own constitution to do that. That's very important. And the global problems that the Orthodox Church faces, and this supported by systematically, including even those in the government, is a main problem. Without solving the Orthodox problem, without solving the Amhara problem, without solving essentially the structural problem related with the constitution, there is no way to see peace in our country. That's very important. That I wanted to underline. In this study that I mentioned earlier, the Sobel report that comes on December 14, clearly there is a systematic undertaking to take down the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. It has the Al-Shabaab party has been involved with, based in Somalia, but it's extending through even to the Ethiopian different places. This is also known by the government, by the Al-Shabaab has this root and network deep into Ethiopia, apart to Addis Ababa and different parts of the country. Is clearly known. The government knowing that actually the country's the Ethiopian National Security Agency has arrested 82 people involved in this kind of thing. But when they also know that there are training centers in Bali and Dalusi that are organized to destroy independent churches and to kill Christians, but no action is being taken because this is not considered as a primary problem in the country. So we are pressing and demanding for the government to recognize this problem and take the necessary action and make this a priority agenda in the country, because Christians are being killed, Orthodox Ethiopians are being killed. What we have seen transpire in RC in the last 2 months is enough to show that this is a national agenda first, and something that the international community has to embrace and take the necessary action. We also have learned from the Sobel report that I mentioned earlier that there are cells in Somalia that are organizing and supporting the ISIS movement, and actually ideology centers even in Bali, that's Robe, where there are Muslims training centers, radical Muslim centers that are moving this kind of agendas against the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Actually, we would know clearly and understand what is going on systematically from this radical Islamist movements against the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. When we go back to 1997, September 30, a group of 5 different organizations coming together, they're called OSLA, and their agenda is to destroy what the Judeo-Christian paradigm from Ethiopia and institute Islamic State in Ethiopia. These are the kind of agenda that is being promoted, that something that needs to be raised as a main international agenda when it comes to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. I'm again calling the international community to support Ethiopians, especially the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. They are defenseless, they are being killed, they are slaughtered, they are massacred. It is a religious genocide going in our country. That should be known, that should be raised to the level where the global community has to take the kind of necessary actions. Without that, I don't see how we can bring this to an end, because even the people in the government structure have been involved in this kind of things, and the government is not willing to take the necessary action. A case in point is Kader Ibrahim, this is in the RC. He's part of the government structure who denied the presence of this kind of prosecutions. Clearly known to show that the government is not taking the necessary action with them. And those people who have been assigned by the government, I think the interreligious faith groups that have been going to find out about this, come out to defend the position that there is no any religious attack in Ethiopia. So we can see that even what is going on in these places where it is apparent and clear, this is being denied and nothing is being taken as an action to protect these innocent people, voiceless. That's why we are standing here. The reason we stand here is one. We should get the kind of support, the kind of help that we need to help these voiceless people, and the world has to stand with Ethiopians who have been prosecuted for the last how many years now. The constitution is a cancer to the country, that is a main reason that's contributing to the current crisis. There is no peace inside without clearly addressing related with this constitutional problem. The Orthodox problem is the main one. The war waged against the Amhara people is a survival agenda that needs to be set up. Without dealing with these three issues, the Orthodox agenda, the Amhara agenda, and at the core of it, the embedded constitution that is cancerous to the country, there is no way we can see peace in Ethiopia. I'm sure the resolve that the Ethiopian people has always shown over the years will continue until we see peace in the country. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Ato Abel. Thank you for excellent presentation. Thank you.